Buzz babies, we are live, Planet Comicon, day 3. I'm here with a legendary writer. Some of you may have heard of him, Mr. Mark Waid.
Hey, sir, how
He's
you
in
doing?
Kansas City. How you doing, man?
Good, good. It's been an amazing show.
It
Great
has been.
fans and a good city, and I'm having a great time.
Very cool. Yeah, I feel like they did right with the 25th anniversary.
They really did.
And there was also, like, it's just been like a cool year. Like, you did the panel with Kevin Eastman today.
Yeah.
They had his 40th anniversary panel yesterday.
Right.
You know, just it's a good year for comics. And I'm almost 40, not quite, but I feel like everybody turning 40 this year is like, because of the Turtles' birthday, is like not as bad anymore, right?
right.
But what? Do you come to the show a lot, or is it every now and then?
I've only been to this one twice.
Okay.
I was at the very first one.
Oh, wow.
And then, for whatever reason, timing just never worked out. I love the people who run the show, but this year we were able to make the timing work out 25 years later.
Okay. Where do you travel from?
Los Angeles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're in it.
Yeah.
Do you still do a lot of, like, writing, like TV, movie stuff, like kind of outside?
A little bit here and there, but I mean, I'm so busy doing comic stuff that takes up, so much of my time, and it's something, that's what I'm really passionate about. Yeah. So if I do other stuff in other media, that's okay, video game stuff every once in a while, but comics is where my heart is.
I like that this is home, and this is where you like to be. I grew up like loving your stuff. My buddy, when my buddy introduced me to Alex Ross, and I saw those, I hadn't seen art like that before, right? And then I stumble across Kingdom Come, and not only have I never seen art like that before, I've never really seen superheroes handled like that before.
Cool.
And you change as a writer, but you're always still Mark Waid. You still have that voice.
Thank you.
Right? But you just get superheroes, and I like listening to you in the panels and seeing you with fans and around. I mean, you just you kind of have that inherent goodness in you. It's kind of gross. What is wrong with you?
You're very kind. Thank you. I have my days, trust me. But I mean, I learned all the right lessons growing up from these characters.
Yeah.
About what to do and how to be kind to people and stuff. So that's really important.
Yeah. That's good. I thought it was very cool today in the panel when I thought that lady's question was great. Like, as a new comic, fan, I want to get to know new writers, new diverse writers, I thought just, telling them to go into the store and look and stuff was cool, but like specifically looking at YA, I thought that was so cool. And just, in this industry, there's the bad side of things, and there's just like anything, right? There's gross stuff on the internet if you want to look for it.
Yeah.
But I'm so tired of the diversity in comics, and people some people cringe when you put those two words together, and other like you celebrate it.
Celebrate. I mean, here's the thing: not every comic is for every reader. That's fine. That's fine. If you don't like something because you think fewer women should be in comics or whatever, I mean, you're a jerk, but also they don't have to read that. You're not obligated to read this comic, but there's still unfortunately a small number, but a loud number of bigots and racists and misogynists out there who really want comics to be like men's stuff from the 1980s, and they don't, and it's really a shame because they don't have to be that way.
Exactly.
It's not like there's not plenty of comics out there for them.
Yeah, it's I've never understood it either, and luckily I've gotten smarter, right? Because of the show and what I do, I have to be a lot more cognizant of what I say online.
Sure, of course.
And poking those gators, right?
Yep.
Clients don't like seeing it when I'm reaching out trying to get cool interviews, but it's, and I like that. I like that creators still stand up for that fight, because sometimes does it have to be said every day over and over again? No, but just like in the panel today, it made me feel good that you just came right out and you were like, no, this is a good thing. Yes. We need to celebrate these new writers, these new voices. We don't all have to look alike.
No.
And I just thought it was very refreshing to hear, because when you get caught up with the internet, right?
Right.
And then you go to an event like this, and you see people in real life, and you see people standing in line, laughing, having a good time.
Right.
It's different.
Everybody equal out here, and everybody's having a good time and finding their own tribe and finding their own people. That's how can you see this kind of diversity and this joy with so many people and then hold it against them somehow? I just don't get it.
Dude, if you don't want me to air this, I will.
Okay.
But do you and Chris Claremont, there
was a little. Look, we made up. It's all good. It was. We disagree about how many women there were in comics in 1982. I'm saying not a lot. And again, I told him we're in violent agreement because I think we're saying the same thing. But the reality is, with the exception of Sandman and X-Men, like, women weren't buying comics in the 80s and 90s and stuff. And so now to see that there's such a wide variety, not only of creators but of fans, it's just so so heartening.
That's I know he has he's got a reputation, but he's also like, he has a reputation, but it's not like a bad one. He's like, everybody's like, Chris will voice his opinion, but it's, we still love him.
Sure.
And it was just, it was interesting. It was fun and very entertaining as a viewer. But I heard some people talking after, and they were like, do Mark and Chris not get along? No,
we get along just fine. We get along just fine. It's just that we don't. I like to celebrate the good stuff.
Okay.
And I like to celebrate, like, when people ask me, like, how comics have changed in the last 40 years, I want to concentrate on the stuff that's good.
Nice.
The stuff that's positive, the stuff that's upbeat. I don't really, believe me, I got my complaints. I got things that were better 40 years ago in comics for me than they are today, but, that's just me. I don't know, it just, and that's not what the fans want to hear. Nobody in that room wants to be brought down. Comics were better before you were alive. Nobody wants to hear that. So it's all good.
That is an intense take for sure. But no, it was, like I said, I got to catch a couple panels with you this weekend. Listening to you talk as press and reporting, it was great content. As a fan, dude, I could listen to you talk all day. I was legit when I came up and said, man, like, watching you like step in as a moderator on these panels. Meanwhile, I went to Planet Comicon, people, and I was like, just so you know, I would love to moderate some of these panels. Some of them didn't have any, but but I thought it was very cool what you did, especially with Eduardo.
Thanks.
Going out of your way to bring him into the conversation.
It's really important. everybody, this is what happens at conventions. If there's not a moderator up there, I will automatically just sort of fall into that, because I think it's so easy for us to ignore that there's other people on the panel and make sure everybody's voice is heard and make sure that there's context to everything, because that happens a lot too, is panelists are so used to their own little world, they'll throw out names or characters or publishers that nobody in the room knows, and so it's important to put context to that as well. But thank you.
Yeah, man. And you've been, as you guys mentioned, and you guys started like rattling off like when you guys broke into comics and how long you've been in the industry, and I like to think of it as how long you've impacted the industry.
That's
because
nice.
You guys leave footprints that people are proud to follow in my opinion. But with all the decades, right? And all the show floors you've been on, all the panels you've been on, talking to weirdos like me all the time, you still retain an excitement. And I know you love comics, but I also know sometimes it's hard to keep that excitement going. But like, what about this industry? Like, what keeps you like stoked and excited to work? And
I love these characters. I think there's something new to be said about them still after 70, 80 years. And I just enjoy being able to do for a living what I would have done for free when I was 10 years old, right? I'm so lucky to be able to do that. So few people are.
Nice.
But that's what keeps me enthused. And also, my origin story for this kind of stuff is that 45 years ago or so, I was at a store signing as a fan. And I won't say who, but there were some professionals there, and one of them was a complete ass to the fans. One of them was, I remember distinctly, we were talking about the Superman movies, and I said something that he didn't like, and he said, well, then you're an idiot. Like, come come on, dude.
Wow.
Don't be that way. So that, if anything, that was my like bat through the window moment, right? That was my don't be that way to fans. So I swore to myself if I was ever on the other side of the table, I would not forget that they're not here to hear me be upset. Yeah, I mean, just enjoy. Clearly that guy wasn't enjoying his time. But enjoy it. It's not going to last forever.
Yeah.
So just roll with it while you can. Yeah.
Well, on that note of enjoying it while you can, you made my con better. I was so excited to talk to you, man. Your writing means so much to me. How you handle superheroes, and just like I said, the voice and presence and image that you put in this industry.
Thank you.
I'm glad you do, and I hope more people see that and follow footsteps, because
you're very kind.
We need people like you leading the young people, showing them what to be, showing people don't call the fans an idiot. You know, like be good to each other.
Be positive. On the other, but don't be afraid to call out. Bigots and racists and stuff.
Yes.
I mean, this is my favorite quote was from Paul Newman, who said, "A man without enemies is a man without integrity," which is to say, if you don't stand up for something, then you stand up for nothing.
Yeah.
So that's important.
And when you're writing superheroes, I know that we separate the artist from the art, but if you really get superheroes, I feel like you really do have to have something to stand up for.
Exactly. Well, this is, you learn the right lessons. Come on, you read this stuff when you were a kid. These are the moral lessons that are imprinted upon you. Carry them forth,
Yeah.
They're very simple, they're very childlike motives, they're very childlike motivations, but still they're at core, it's hard to take a superhero philosophy into the real world where there's lots of grays and there's not everything is black and white, but still at core, you know the right thing to do.
Yeah.
So
totally. I mean, I know you already know, but that core, you get it. I know you get it. Thank you so much for taking the time. Mark, real quick, is there anything new or a mailing list or anything you want to shout out?
You can find me at markwaid.com. You can find me on Instagram, markwaidwriter.com, because some jerk took Mark Waid already. I'm on Facebook because I'm really old. I'm all over that place. I'm doing Batman Superman World's Finest for DC, doing an upcoming big event with DC with Dan Mora called Absolute Power.
Yeah.
That'll be this summer. And a few other things that we haven't announced yet, but I'm just having a ball.
Have you worked with Dan before?
Oh yeah, he's doing Worlds.
You guys are on Worlds. Okay,
Finest, yeah. So, but he's so fast that he can do 2 books at once. So I can bring him over to Absolute Power.
It's crazy how good he is and how fast he can be, right?
It's crazy nuts.
What's it like? Like, because he's showing you stuff while he's making it, right? So you get to see stuff in the email?
He sends me, one morning he sent me a bunch of layout. Every morning he sends me thumbnails just to make sure that, because English is not his first language, and so he's like making sure. And so one morning at 8:12, I got thumbnails. At 8:20, I wrote him back and said, "Looks good to me." At 10:16, I got a finished ink page from him. That's how fast Dan is, and he's such a great storyteller.
He's so good.
I know.
Wow, that's so cool. Well, I'm stoked for that event, man. Again, I hope you have a great rest of the show.
Thanks, man.
And this was so cool. Thank you so much for doing this.
My pleasure. Take care, man.
Thanks.
All right. You bet.
So good to meet you, dude.
Nice to meet you, man. Thanks.
Yeah.
Enjoy the rest of the show.